sweet kiss our little. Now for go along, yeah. Sweet kiss our little. Now for go along. You take it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Why not pray for a long fellow? He can pray for a long life. As long as they live, you know, the better we grow. Fine, power is fine, oh, it can make you heavy. It's just like a brook, you know, it's way to capsize. Sweet, kiss our liver. Not for go along. He might be can eat it, or a picture can eat it. Kiss our little, oh, sweet kiss our little. Not for go along. You take it from Peter today, or Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from me right today, or mother will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, oh, by your fine, may your fever. Well, people do to you, you dare to cry. Has enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time.
Welcome to our Cummings show.
Time is a lesson, yeah.
Today is Tuesday. On this day, the weather in Labrador is very cool, and we are broadcasting out of the radio today.
Sweet kiss our liver. Now for go along, mama. Human being can eat it, oh, the deer can eat it. Kiss our liver. Our liver, not for go along.
So let me say a very big thank you to you all for joining this conversation. Today is Tuesday. The weather is very cold, and we are having we'll be having a fruitful discussion today on numerous of issues, topics surrounding our Liberian politics and surrounding Mr. Cummings' presidency. We are broadcasting from our studio and not in the radio station today, but hopefully on Friday we'll be on the radio station. I'd like to say thank you for being part of this unique conversation. Keep sharing. Today we'll be exposing CDC evil plans. CDC evil plans have been exposed. We'll be doing it. We'll be telling you what are some of the evil plans by the CDC administration towards Mr. Cummings. And we will also be looking at Mr. Cummings' vision comes 2023. It is commensurating with the Liberian current reality. It is something that the Liberian people need to buy in. Is Mr. Cummings the only politician that can bring the change? We'll be looking at it. We'll be giving our full analysis on it. We'll be giving our views. And we'll be also informing people current day reality. You know, let me start there. There are numerous of information like the IEC boss, most prestigious company, Ecom, have been denied by PBCC because they have not complied according to the PBCC instrument qualification instrument. Ecom is a notorious inept institution that is not living up to the qualification of the biometric contract. They have been involved in a lot of inept and electoral malpractices around the world, and these are things we need to understand. So we need to verify them. The PBCC verify them, and the PBCC have fruitfully identified that they are now worthy of the 12 million contract awarded by the National Election Commission. So that is the case, Judge. We want to use the National Election Commissions to steal our current election. They are planning it, and Director Brown Sanan is the one that will be implementing all of the president strategies because we are heading towards 2023. So because they cannot beat Mr. Cummings, so they want to steal the elections. And secondly, we have a serious risk crisis in Buchanan. Even in Buchanan, there is a serious crisis currently in Buchanan about the rest issue, the rest shortage on the market. Although we are seeing government officials continue to lie that rice is in this country, but Liberians are not feeling the impact of rice being in the country. We have seen so many video around the internet, 2017 video around the internet about rice issue, and rice is still not in the country. And in the midst of the rice crisis, the government have introduced a new banknote without withdrawing the old banknote on the Liberian market. They have introduced a new banknote. So we have the new banknote, the past banknote, but as a leaf banknote, tenor banknote in the Liberian market. So that is the crisis we are facing in Liberia. And more specifically, we are heading to the 2023 election. We have a lot of people who are inept logically, that they want to seek the presidency. They want to even uh, contest as representatives and senators. So to our Liberian people, we actually need to examine them. We need to know whether they can deliver. We need to understand their deliverables. We need to understand what they have in mind, what they have done. We need to understand their past performance. We need to understand what they are involved with. We need to evaluate them. We need to evaluate them. So we need to evaluate them. We need to know how their process is. So these are some of the major things we need to understand. We need to verify. We need to come to a total reconciliation with. Uh, Mr. Cummings is currently in America. Will be at the global convention, and so Mr. Cummings is currently talking with diplomats, meeting stakeholders in the diaspora, Liberians who have who is currently contributing to the Liberian growth and development to our country. Mr. Cummings is currently in the diaspora speaking with them. And this is what a leader is supposed to do. This is what a leader had to do. So Mr. Cummings is actually playing that role. So let us come to CDC plan. CDC have identified a few things. CDC have identified a few things on Mr. Cummings. One, they have identified that the CDC have identified that Mr. Cummings is a man of integrity. They have identified that Mr. Cummings is a formidable force in the 2023 election. CDC have also identified that Mr. Cummings is recruiting the needed people to give him the votes comes 2023. So these three things they are identified. So CDC plan here is to one, steal the 2023 election by rigging it. And that is the reason why the president have instructed the heads of Brown Lasana have CDC have identified that. And secondly, their plan is one to steal the 2023 election. Stealing the 2023 election is to is to use the National Election Commissions, the Ether Sana. Secondly, if CDC cannot do it, CDC plan is to spread fake gay propaganda messages against Mr. Cummings, in which we know it cannot work. And some of their supporters here are doing it. And secondly, if CDC have not succeeded in doing that, the next thing CDC is about to do, it is dangerous, is to come and criticize Mr. Cummings' current campaign team. So that is a 3 indicator, and their plan have been exposed. Here's it. CDC have identified through the National Election Commission Econ, a Chinese company who is not qualified enough to produce a voter card on the spot after doing your registration to conduct the biometric voter registration process. Econ was involved in Jacob Zuma South Africa political election and electoral malpractices. So CDC want to bring that strategy to the Liberia 2023 election, that they will be producing, and what Ecom database does is they will be producing multiple copy and paste voter registration cards. And if you register to vote through a biometric system, if that biometric system is accepted through Ecom, that Chinese company, they will do manipulation of the system where CDC can enforce more names with fake identification to rig the 2023 elections. So that is CDC plan. And thank God the PBCC has identified that, the Public Procurement Concession Committee have identified that, and they have erected a checkpoint. Imagine the first vetting process Ecom went through. They could not even present a fitting PowerPoint presentation of how their entire database function or work. You all need to take note of this. Ecom could not even justify or bring to a functional application through a PowerPoint presentation how their the biometric voter registration process will work. They have never identified that. Secondly, they do not even have money to pre-finance the voter registration process, because according to the National Election Commission's contract, any company able to take that contract should pre-finance their work. Econ do not have that financial capability. Thirdly, Econ is going to give NEC boss who have been instructed by President Weah a 30% discount if their contract is being accepted. It was exposed. They cannot even produce a single voter registration card on the spot after registration. So it means that if you go through your voter registration process, you have to wait 2 to 3 days before you get your voter registration card. That is the company that the Liberia National Election Commissions want to recommend to conduct our 2023 general and presidential election. That is the company that the current National Election Commission chair want to identify to conduct the 2023 national elections, general and presidential election. We are here. They have also paid their friendly media institution to not broadcast some of these things, with the exception of Front Africa, who exposed them. These are some of the training issues towards 2023. These are some of the hidden agenda of CDC towards 2023, because they know they cannot beat Mr. Cummings in the 2023 election through a democratic electoral process. What they want to do is to initiate that contract with Econ to rig the election, because information have reached that CDC is recruiting Guineans to register through Lofa County into the Liberian election, the 2023 election. They are recruiting Ivorians to register through Maryland to participate in the Liberian national general and presidential election. These are hard facts. These are hard, credible facts that we should not neglect towards 2023. Towards 2023. These are hard facts. Hard facts. Secondly, CDC playing here, after using the Liberian National Election Commission, another CDC playing here is to criticize every single member that will be recruited, accepted, and vetted by Mr. Cummings to join his campaign team. They have started implementing their plans. And we are not deterred. Let me tell you some of that strategy. CDC is criticizing Louis Brown, a seasoned qualified communications specialist and diplomat. CDC has started criticizing Toga McIntosh, a seasoned administrator that have been recruited by Mr. Cummings. I want you people to note some of these things. CDC have been criticizing H. Dambo is a well-structured lawmaker. CDC have been criticizing Yeke Koruba, who all we know about Yeke Koruba separation. CDC have already been criticizing Julius Dongi Cassian, the former what the positions to serve me, the former general minister. CDC have been criticizing her because you know the reason why? Because they have identified that these people recruited on Mr. Cummings' national campaign team have a formidable force. These were the same people that gave Unity Party a 2-term election in this country through their votes, their expertise, and their mobilization strategy. CDC identified that. CDC was confronted with Louis Brown, Julius Tongi Cassiel in 2005. They were confronted with that same individuals in 2011. CDC were confronted with those individuals. CDC never won those individuals with the 2 elections they had when they were vigorously campaigning for the Unity Party. CDC plan is to destabilize Mr. Cummings' campaign team, and which, of course, they will not come to light. Let me tell you the reason why. One, Louis Brown worked with the CDC administrator as ambassador to the U.S. Louis Brown worked with CDC as ambassador. Toga McIntosh worked with CDC as the governing council chair. Nextly, H. Dan Morales supported CDC in 2017. These are the same people who supported CDC and brought CDC to victory. But because CDC have grossly violated everything they advocated for in the opposition, or advocated against in the opposition, they are the one doing it. CDC advocated against massive corruption in the early administration. CDC is involved in massively looting and bankrupting the entire governance system of this country. CDC advocated against government officials using state resources to enrich themselves. Seditions, government officials appointed even the president's best friend and chief of office staff. The former minister of state of presidential affairs was indicted under the CDC administration by the U.S. government. CDC advocated against against Unity Party for using their power against civil activists, people who see wrongs and expose the wrong. CDC is involved in going after civil rights activists. They went after Jethro Harris without any evidence being found. They chased Honorable Yaka Cordoba without any evidence being found. They closed down a Punch FM without any, they refused Punch FM frequency without no evidence. This is the CDC administration, where corruption has become a common denominator in our labour-abiding democracy under the CDC administration. They want to criticize those wrong. They cannot. These people recruited on Mr. Cummings' campaign team are people with competency, qualification, experience to bring the needed change that we need. So CDC strategy to criticize these people will not work. The performance of Judah Donkey Cassiel under the Edis administration, the records are there. It was under her administration that the rape law was changed to be a non-bailable offense. Rape was granted a non-bailable offense. It was under her administration. It was under her administration that President Eli Johnson Sirleaf, Eli Johnson Sirleaf notified the fact that rape is a national offense. It was Showman Jola Dogi Kasia. CDC strategy against Mr. Cummings will no longer water down into the labyrinth democracy because CDC have failed us. CDC will continue to fail us because President Weah's past performance and past behavior was completely a failure. So CDC will continue to fail us, and we are not surprised to see that the CDC administration continues to fail because President Weah have failed before. Let me give you a few historicity about President Weah's past failure and bring us to his present failure, and you'll definitely know that President Weah is inept and cannot govern the current state. That's the reason why corruption has become a common denominator. When you steal under President Weah administration, you go scot-free. Stealing has become a normal habit under the CDC administration. Stealing has become a habit. Even President Weah steal. So what you expect from his official? Let's start with President Weah when he was playing football. President Weah played football. We agree. All of the awards given to him came with projects and finances. Is there any single statue, single stadium or hospital named in honor of George Weah has a record recognizing his effort in the footballing arena in this country? No. If you show me any single sculpture that President Weah placed down to say this is a stadium named in honor of President Weah, of George Weah, then if there's any hospital or whatsoever named in honor of President Weah while playing football that he built with his own money while playing football, then we will close this show down. President Weah have nothing to show. President Weah said you were peace ambassador. Let's come to President Weah, peace ambassador fiasco story. President Weah said you're peace ambassador, coming down and advocating for the Liberian people. You think UNICEF will make peace ambassador without having DSA? So that when President we are saying is spending your own money to organize peace conferences. You know, like, say, well, you see that other blatant lie? You see that other blatant lie? So when UNICEF made you peace ambassador, UNICEF allot to your office as peace ambassador a daily assistance allowance, DSA. UNICEF allot that to all of their ambassadors. George Weah, but then was no exception. So it was UNICEF money he was using. When UNICEF want to do another project, UNICEF call him because of a film. Let's move to President Weah political history. Let's move to President Weah political history. Let's move to President Weah political history. Sedition are noted for lying. Seditions lie that President Weah have in his cover 85 million. They pay a cyber expert in the United States to have a Facebook, to have a Wikipedia page. And when you browse President Weah net worth, that Wikipedia page will come out. So they pay him to read a story that President Weah worth 80 million, our audio money. So it means all in President Weah political life, he lie about his finances. 80 million. You can compare President Weah 80 million photo with his current photo. How you're taking 80 million to be? If Joya had 80 million, CDC was not going to sign a memorandum of understanding that every legislative officials of CDC should contribute 15% of their salary to the CDC, because you know why? They wanted to maintain President Weah in the opposition. If I lie, your ass scars gray. CDC signed a resolution that 15% of their salary should be given to CDC to maintain the office of President Weah. President Weah then had 80 million, but people still paying to maintain his office, the seat. We will still come for President Weah. We still on President Weah. We're going nowhere here today. Keep sharing this live. We still on him. We're going nowhere. President Weah in 2005 was massively flogged by the Unity Party. President Weah came in after he was flogged. President Weah came in 2011 to contest. The Unity Party whipped him in 2011 with Manasseh Leaf as the stand-up bearer. Sorry for it. You see, a man who lost his thought of understanding can be controlled by any circumstances. A man who lost his thought of understanding can be controlled by any circumstances. After President Weah lost consecutively 2 times against the Unity Party, CDC forced him to say, "My man, they play go as Senator of Mozambique County." First CDC brought him as vice president. From the CDC, lower him down as senator, because even the Congress of Democratic Team does not trust the leadership ability of President Weah. From president in 2005 to vice president in 2011 to senator in 2014. You see, as CDC, even the coalition for Democratic Change do not trust the leadership ability of President Weah. From 2005, they carried President Weah as president. 2011, they said, "No, we'll bring Wiseman Tubman." We bring president. We had to vice president in 2011. They could not win. CDC was so desperate, and they could be telling Mr. Cummings, say, you desperate. Mr. Cummings is desperate for change. CDC was so desperate that in 2005, the current president we are as president. 2011, they were so desperate for the presidency until they reduced President Weah's position. The face of the party, they reduced his position. The face of the party, CDC reduced his position. CDC reduced his position from being the face of the party to being a mere vice president. So imagine if in 2011 CDC could have won the election. Just imagine the thought. CDC now even stop there to disgrace President Weah. CDC made him senator. They bring it down all the way to senator for him to contest for the senatorial position. To tell you how CDC, even CDC does not trust the leadership ability of President Weah. Just to tell you that. Now, what happened next? In 2011, because the Unity Party, in 2017, because the Labempo were resolved to move the Unity Party, Ibrahim as president. Even in the Senate, he was referred to as the lowest participant in the Senate when it comes to argument. President Weah can't argue. They may hardly express themselves, he talk about argument. President Weah hardly expressed himself. Then he talk about political argument. You okay? President Weah hardly expressed himself, not to speak about political argument. That's the reason why. You know what CDC did? That's the reason why CDC smart there. Hey, CDC. That's the reason why in 2017, CDC smartly withdraw from every debate process, presidential debate. You know why? CDC withdraw from every debate because President Weah hardly expressed himself. President Weah in your video telling Carrasco, you're going to take the drainage for all, you're going to take the drainage for in Ecuador. President Weah hardly expressed himself. That's the reason why you see President Weah coming out to say the rest situation in the country that are hearing that noise. He was proud to say that. He said the thing I hearing about the rest that noise. What will reach to that. So what do you expect from a failure? What do you expect from a ceasing failure? President Weah is a ceasing failure. Not just a failure, but a ceasing one. I can give you another information. Let me tell you why President Weah built a house quickly. I come in. When CDC last, President Weah had 80 million. When President Weah gained state power, the 80 million can be he have to use the state resources to reconstruct all of his houses. The 46 condos, the non-skilled resident that worth $2 million United dollars. President Weah erected all of that in 6 months. 6 months of his presidency. The president erected all of that in 6 months of his presidency. After 1 year, of President we have presidency, the 16 billion Saka came out. President we had stole the 16 billion. Now you get your any results surrounding the 16 billion. After he stole the 16 billion, again, yeah. So they stole the 16 million, build their own self vault in their private houses, and place the money there. This is President we are. In 2 years of his administration, which are listed killing, allegedly were happening. They started killing innocent souls. What do you expect? After 3 years of his administration, the 25 million mob of SSRs was mismanaged and misappropriated. Samuel 12 go give the money to a girlfriend. They impose fake businesses when co-report go do that investigation. They can even find the sculpture on the scene. That President we are. After 4 years of his administration, 4 years, some months, or 4 years plus, the road fund the people gave the government. President we are they eat the road fund money. Then they may say in borrow medicine. Even the road fund money, they still in it. Now, in 5 years of the administration, 11 million were allocated to importers to bring West to subsidize importers. 11 million was given to the Liberian government to subsidize importers. They eat that money. And President, we are getting 150 cents on each bag of rice in this country. This is Liberia. This is Liberia. And President, we are. So that's the reason why I see the rest duration training as it is. But I'll take the break and be right back. Let me take the break.
Change means more jobs for them. Change means better education for them and all their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and will have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how. More jobs for them. Change means better education for them and all their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and will have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how to deliver those changes. And I believe that's what we offer.
You listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. You just listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. You just listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. And I want to say something. So you just listen to Mr. Cummings' change message, right? And Mr. Cummings' change message, I always speak about a few things. Just few things I want to clear. Let me clear a few things, right? I come in. Let's play this as I clear a few things.
Change means more jobs for them. Change means better education for them and or their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and will have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how to deliver those changes. And I believe that's what we offer. Change means more jobs for them. Change means better education for them and or their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and will have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how to deliver those changes. And I believe that's what we offer.
Now let's move to the real issues. Liberians, let me say this to you all. It is better now we start making the needed changes. And I would like to be serious on this. It is hard time we start making the needed changes. Let me say this. We have understood the failure of the WIA's administration. We have understood how desperate the CDC administration is to steal from the covers of the Liberian people. We have understood how President WIA is inept and incapable to run the state. We have understood how President WIA officials are uneducated, incompetent, to run our country. We understood all of that. Our major target towards 2023 is to immediately bring this administration to an end. That is the major target towards 2023. Bringing we as administration to an end, that is our major target towards 2023. You know the reason why? It have happened in America, it can happen in Liberia. Our needed target is to give we are a one term comes to 2023. And that can only be if when we bring together a person with integrity, credibility, person who have done that before, and that person is no one else but Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. And I'll tell you why. This is Mr. Cummings, who have worked in corporate America. This is the place where people justify your past performance and past behavior before giving you a job. This is the man who was managing a global company as vice president that have been audited every year to know how stable and financially oriented and how his integrity is. This is a man who have been battle tested when it comes to administrative proceeding. This is a man who knows how to generate revenue for his people. This is a man who have the political and administrative understanding on how to raise revenue, how to maintain the state and sustain the life of the Liberian people. This is Ellis Cummings. And let me say this. Today, I have no regret for bringing to you Mr. Cummings as the next option for the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Cummings is a well-inclined, educated young man. And let me say this, I will boast of this, Mr. Cummings is rich. Mr. Cummings have invested his money wisely. Mr. Cummings have business partners and international connections. Mr. Cummings is well known. Mr. Cummings is well deserved in the international community. When Mr. Cummings speaks, everybody listen. They're going to take evidence to the census. Mr. Cummings was the only political leader that had a press conference enlightened to the fact that Liberia have not gone through a census for over 10 years. And in fact, before going to election, the Liberian government should take the courage to conduct census. And since Mr. Cummings even said that the international community need to help Liberia to conduct a census to know how many people live in our country in the various districts and communities before going to the 2023 election. What happened immediately? USAID came in to help Liberia. Today, we have our census being conducted. Our census will be conducted on the 12th. This is the attribute of Mr. Cummings. This is the attribute of Mr. Cummings. This is the attribute of Mr. Cummings. This is just an example. This is just an example. Mr. Cummings said that the real government is corrupt and inept. People were looking until someone from outside came to expose them, gave evidences. When Mr. Cummings speak, international communities and partners listen. When Mr. Cummings speak, international community and partners listen. Mr. Cummings' current life is equivalent to a presidential life. Mr. Cummings has money, international connections. If it were not because of this inept and malnourished administration that is currently running, referring to like Moreover as Miami, by the time, if this administration was not running against opposition community for establishing businesses in this country, by this time, there could be series of businesses running by Mr. Ezana B. Cummings. This is Mr. Ezana B. Cummings. This is the breath of fresh air in our Liberian democracy. This is Mr. Cummings that even George Weah is afraid of. It's just because his presidency will refer to him as president. But to God in heaven, this means not even worth to be a president. This means does not even worth to be called a president or a political leader for any political party. Nobody needs to tell you. When you see Mr. Cummings live, you know, Liberia was noted for electing poor people into power. When the poor people get into power, then they steal our money, they will cry on them. Common example that President Weah, who was broke to death until giving the presidency, who was broke to death President Weah was broke to death. You think we're going to sit here and allow him? You think we're going to sit there and allow him? We will not. The Weah administration, these are people that they are damn criminals, rogues, thieves on an industrial scheme. And I see people in the opposition community, some of them want to criticize Mr. Cummings. Shame on you. Shame on you. Big shame on you. Yes, man. Since Mr. Cummings said that we are supported, we are gave over 200,000 plus to support Model. You know, yeah, George, we are refuting that. President, damn it. You think we don't know? You think people in this country do not know that the president supported the Liberian civil crisis against the Liberian people? You think we don't know? Why is it President Weah cannot come out his administration after accepting to establish a war crime code before gaining power? Why he cannot establish a war crime code? He's in dine with Prince Johnson, a notorious war criminal, a man who is noted for publicly killing our former president Samuel Kando, televising the torture of Samuel Kando. President Weah is in bed with him. President Weah is also in bed with a series of people. Fonanti Kofa. President Weah fought to make Fonanti Kofa the deputy speaker for this country. You think we don't know that Fonanti Kofa was indicted, convicted in jail for stealing over $500,000 that could be used on building roads, rural roads in this country? Fonanti Kofa, a damn criminal. He just is a president. We don't know that President Weah is in bed with these criminals. You want to criticize Mr. Cummings? President Williams in bear with misshaped and misguided Prophet Timo, who is using another person's credentials to ride on our Liberian people intelligence. You think we don't know? You think we don't know? You think it's not the fact? That is what Mr. Cummings wants to change. A leadership, a government with competency and qualification. That is what Mr. Cummings wants to introduce. That is what Mr. Cummings is fighting to introduce. That people respect the presidency. People respect our people. Let the government respect our people. Listen to Mr. Cummings' change message. Listen. When Mr. Cummings speak about the change that he wants to bring, listen to Mr. Cummings' change message.
Change means more jobs for them. Change means better education for them and all their children. Change means investing in agriculture and the country feeding itself. Change means health, so that people who get ill can get proper treatment in Liberia. Change means no more corruption. Change means Liberians will have electricity, will have running water in their homes, and will have roads to get to their homes. So those are the fundamentals of what change means to the average Liberian. And I think Liberians are looking for an individual, a leader, and a team of people who they believe can actually deliver those changes, who actually understands the how to deliver those changes. And I believe that's what we offer.
You start sending your donation before I play another thing. You start sending your donation before I play another thing. You start sending your donations before I play another thing. Start to send your donations before I play another thing. Send your donations. Send your donations. Let's reach another issue. People argue in this country. What have Mr. Cummings done? What have Mr. Cummings done? People continue to argue. What has Mr. Cummings done? What is Mr. Cummings' contribution? Have Mr. Cummings contributed towards anything in this country? Invite them. This is the intellectual study class for them to know that Mr. Cummings have contributed. Invite them to know. Invite them to know. Listen to this. This is what Mr. Cummings have done. Listen.
Papi there, my old man there, my picking there, all my rear getting. I went Broad Street and I went Clarendon. I even went Pinsville. I went Bon, Lofa, Nima, Grand Cape Man, and all my papi there. Everybody just telling me say the mayor, same we not see the mayor. The man looking like good mayor. The man just good. All the things the man talking, it makes sense to help our country. But all the people then just keep telling us say, oh, the man just coming, the man do nothing for Liberia. So I say, you know what? Yo, will let me go check so I can find out the thing here. So when I checked that when the man was working with Coca-Cola, the man used his position to get people in Coca-Cola to donate about $2 million to support Liberia. During the Ebola time, the man decided, he said, I will help, I will get people together, I will use my position, $2 million. He stopped there. He provided scholarship for our children and Liberian children in Liberia and abroad. The man sponsored the Alexander B. Cummings Innovation Center at the AMU University. Imagine that for our students to be learning better, to get better access to Google Tina to learn. Then he decided, he said, no, I will look for local organizations in Liberia that are trying to do work for people to bring water. About 20 other organizations, 20 projects. He decided to sponsor 20 projects for organizations who were building pump, digging well, helping to provide clean drinking water. He stopped there. The man spent almost $4.5 million in the Pinsville area, around the Dupo area, for you who actually living there, to build the first school they call STEM school. That school is supposed to help our children and learn about computer, about technology, about math, about science. The first time ever in the history of Liberia. The man stopped there. The man convinced a friend in America during the Ebola crisis. That time you're not even thinking about running for president. During the Ebola crisis, he convinced a lot of BP people in America. He brought all of them with him to Liberia. He said, you gotta go see for ourselves what happening in Liberia. He brought some top branding from Coca-Cola. Because of that, they decided that during the Ebola crisis, Coca-Cola would not shut down. While all the other companies that were closing, Coca-Cola remained open. In fact, Coca-Cola increased their work in Liberia by employing more Liberians. Now what Cummings now do? The man stopped there. Our president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf saw the thing and said, what? The man are too good. I can't believe the thing the man doing. So she decided to get a man the highest honor in the Republic of Liberia. She said, I will honor the man for the kind of good work he's doing. Long need to call it the Ninth Grand Band in the Humane Order of African Redemption. Now what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf get a man to honor the man. I said, even Jua Howard Taylor that running will open today. She saw the thing. She said, what? I can't believe it. The man are too good, man. The man too good for the man are too good the way the man helping the country. In fact, she saw the thing for lunch. She said, you know what? In fact, I in love with the man. The man too good. But the man will say, that one not there. He not doing it for you, Joel. Don't be in love with the man. Yeah, he married. I'm my husband. He only doing it for Liberia because he really loved this country. He launched the Cummings Africa Foundation. Since the man launched the foundation in 14 months, the man had undertaken 22 projects, and he now support 25 different organizations in Liberia, and about 30,000 plus Liberians now benefit from the projects the man now do. He now spent about $289,000 on education, agriculture, and health. The how good a man is. A man paid the wire school fee for 2,322 students. He won. He spent about $106,000 in actually doing it. The man stopped there. The man went to BWI. The man saw BWI. They played dark, no current. All our politicians that been in the country passing around, they never thought about it at all. The man decided, the man said, okay, I will change this thing, and I'm good for the people to be coming to school, no lie. The man buy this big generator. The generator can electrify the whole BWI and even provide more current to people outside of BWI. 350 kVA. The generator cost the man $67,000. The man said, BWI, y'all use the generator so people can come to school with light. That the Cummings man, they're talking about, they say the men are good, they don't know the man just coming. That the man, my people, when you go vote, remember, Alexander B. Cummings, the man want to change the country. The man want to make the country better. He said, you gotta stop supporting the politician who been lying to us. Finally, you gotta get together to make our country better. Remember,
that is what Mr. Cummings have done. That is what Mr. Cummings have done. That is Mr. Cummings' contribution in this country. That is Mr. Cummings' contribution. That is Mr. Cummings' contribution. That is Mr. Cummings' contribution. So I may start reading some of your comments. Can we start reading again? Comments. Can we start reading some of your comments? We have Augustine. Augustine say, great job. We have Alice Sarkozy's Cummings all the way. Someone talking about gay business about Mr. Cummings. The other person replied, then at least we know that you are gay because the gay people know each other, yes. Another person says, Others will beat the ruling government. Still reading your comments, still reading your comments. Continue to make your comments, still reading your comments. Yes, this is another comment from Ovid Lotad. Thank you, still reading your comments, still reading comments. Another one comment, still reading comments, still reading comments. Another person comments, still reading comments. ABC, great job for our people. Cobalt Wilson, still reading comments. Lower your comments, still reading comments. Thank you for watching for Sando, still reading comments. Thank you for watching for Sando, still reading comments. Another person you're seeing. Thank you, still reading comments, still reading comments. Thank you for following my mentor, still reading comments. Esther, thank you for following, still reading comments, still reading comments, still reading comments. So now let's move to the basis of the argument. We here today. We're going anywhere we here today. We're going anywhere we here to promote Mr. Cummings. We here to promote Mr. Cummings. We are here to promote Mr. Cummings. And thank you for joining Ma Urita Zina. Thank you. Still reading comments. So, still reading comments. Still reading comments. Put your comments, we'll read them. Put your comments, we'll read them. Still reading comments. Okay. Now, Mr. Cummings is the only person in this country that have this vision. I want you people to take note. It will be interactive. Take note, it will be very interactive. If you want to join the conversation, we are out there to 2 o'clock. So if you want to join the conversation, right, I will post the link and you join the conversation. So you will listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. What you understand Mr. Cummings' vision. If you want to join the conversation, let me copy the link. I'll paste the link. Okay. If you want to join the conversation, I'm putting the link here. If you want to join the conversation, I just uploaded the link. Yes, I just uploaded the link on all of the platforms. So we are also on YouTube. So you can join on YouTube, ANC Liberia YouTube. We also on YouTube. So I also posted the link. So we will play Mr. Cummings' vision. If you want to listen to Mr. Cummings' vision, after listening to the vision, if you want to make any input, come and join the conversation. Click on the link and join to this conversation. Listen.
Liberians are unemployed.
So now I begin. Let us listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. Share this live video. Let us listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. And then after Mr. Cummings' vision, you can hit the link. You will join the conversation. Listen to Mr. Cummings' vision. This is one of the best vision ever in the history of Liberian foreign politics. Listen.
Years old. The oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, after 170 years, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Why, after 170 years, most Liberian homes don't have electricity? Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. These are things I, as your president, will change for all of you. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you. This is what the Cummings, Solonte, and ANC-led government will commit to you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. And I ask you to make that comparison as you go to the polls on October 10th. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. So after job creation, our next priority is agriculture. We are a country, after 170 years, that do not fear ourselves. Last year alone, we imported over 160 million United States dollars in rice import, and total food imports was over $280 million. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves, and my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our 5th priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money to do all of the what I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country, is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people.
So keep putting your points down, right? Keep placing your points. If you want to join this live feed, what I need you to do is to hit the link that I just posted, and then you will get added to join this conversation. After listening to Mr. Cummings' speech, whether you for or against, you will join the conversation. I want this to be an interactive conversation. So the link is there. You want to join the conversation, you hit the link, and then boom, you join the conversation. That's good.
The right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize the assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government. Because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. we need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring to lead our country. So I ask you, together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
So you have listened to Mr. Cummings' vision, you have listened to it, and you have understood Mr. Cummings' vision. That is the change message. That is the message of change. And we all have understood this. There's no extra addition thing that Mr. Cummings need to do it. The Liberian people, what we need to do is vote Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, 2023. Mr. Cummings is our only option. Is our only option. Comes 2023. If we don't vote him, we get ourselves to blame. With Mr. Cummings, we can do more because we know that he is the necessary change agent. So I will leave you with this for you to watch few scenarios of Mr. Cummings. No. But let me say this to you all before I leave you. It is important enough that we try to appreciate those who contribute or contributed or maintaining this show. If you want to be part of the chat room, you should contact me on Facebook. I will appreciate my team. There is a time for me to appreciate them. They are working, and this is a time for me to appreciate them. I will appreciate all of them. All of them. So long you're part of my team, regardless of whether you contribute or not. But so long you take the courage to be a part of this team, the All About Commercial team, it's time for me to appreciate you all. Let me appreciate my Betty Stewart is watching. Let me appreciate C-Force Command if you're watching. Let me appreciate my Sitat Tarsin if you're watching. Let me appreciate Comfort Sobet if you're watching. Let me appreciate Fatih Sikit if you're watching. Let me appreciate G. Gwen, man, G. Gwen Smith if you're watching. Let me appreciate Jackson Patrick if you're watching. Let me appreciate Jennifer Thompson if you're watching. Let me appreciate Jeremiah Young if you're watching. Cummings Rooks if you're watching. Let me appreciate my Merula Mood if you're watching. Let me appreciate my Miata Starting. She's my mentor. She's the one that's been advising me on how to persuade my ideas. Let me appreciate Pachokon if you're watching. You have been highly dedicated to this effort of the show. Let me appreciate my Orita Zina. You have been highly contributing to this show. You have been maintaining the chat room to maintain this show. Let me appreciate my Rosalind Dix. Let me appreciate my Vivian. Let me appreciate Pa Willie Johnny. If you're watching, let me appreciate my Kanga. If you're watching, these are, and all those who continue to contribute, who will contribute, and who are about to contribute. Let me appreciate all of you for your efforts. And the meditant chair is watching too. Let me appreciate you all for watching, for your efforts. It is an honor. It is an honor to be here. It's an honor to dedicate your efforts. Thank you for watching. Do you call it? Let me appreciate you all. I highly appreciate you for doing what you do best for this show. If it was not you people, this show was not going to be nowhere. You people did a lot through your advices, financial contribution, what have you. Thank you all for watching. And Joel, thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone for watching. I know you came late, Joel, but the show is about to climax. I know you came late. The show is about to climax. So let me say thank you to everyone for watching, for your various locations. So we like to say a very big thank you. And we'll be back same time on Wednesday to conduct this show. Same time we'll be back to conduct this show. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for watching. We will continue to have this show. We will continue to maintain this show. We will continue to be with this show. To all those who send that contribution, who will send that contribution, who is in this chat room, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Thank you for being there. We love you all, and God love you the best. Keep in mind to vote Mr. Cummings. Thank you to Ma Oita Zina. She has been highly instrumental to uplifting this show on the radio. Thank you very much. We thank all of you. Thank you to Patrokon, Ma Miata Takina, and one of you. Thank you to everyone. We appreciate you all for watching, for following this show, for maintaining this show. This is your appreciation day, and this is how we live today's show. We play this music, and we'll come back, hopefully by God grace, come back tomorrow with an energetic topic to amuse you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being there.
Mr. Sweet. Fellow Parisian. Now you won't pick you. HR my Constance. ANC. Somebody say ANC. Cummings. Somebody say Cummings. ANC. Somebody say ANC. Cummings. Somebody say Cummings. Alice Cummings Fraleo. Alice Cummings Fraleo. Alice Cummings Fraleo. Just if they let it get tougher, and I know why they making fuss. That when they you we can trust. Now you are over the you ma. Come in so more kwao. Come in so more kwao. Come in so more kwao. Now you are over the little. You are over the little. Come in so more kwao. Cummings, oh, Mwakwe, Cummings, all that you will let. Cummings, all that you will let. If they let it can get back. If they let it can get back. Alice Cummings, Fraleo. Alice Cummings, Fraleo. Alice Cummings, Fraleo. Alice Cummings, Fraleo. NC, we Fraleo. NC, we all I Cummings will replace you with. But I Cummings will replace you with. ANC, somebody say ANC. Cummings, somebody say Cummings.